Okay, I'm going to quickly show you how I go from this example program to getting a rover driving using Python. So in the previous video, I recommended going through all of our different examples here because I know I want my robot to move. In this example, I'm going to switch straight to the driving one. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of being able to copy and paste this code into my, let's see, I want to copy all of it, into my project here. And then I'm going to fix it up a little bit with some spacing. Okay, and then we'll see what to do. So again, I'm trying to do this quickly. If you guys are doing this on your own, I would recommend reading through this carefully. Okay, but let's go ahead and do what they recommend. So they basically recommend copying and pasting this code into my project and playing it to see what it does. So for me, it did nothing, and I knew it was going to do nothing because if I look down here, there was an error. One or both of the ports do not have the motor connected, and that's because in this example, it assumed the motors were connected to E and F, but on the robot that I'm working with now, I know the motors are connected to C and D. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that, and I will play it. And now it's working. Okay, so if I look here at the code and I read it, I can see what this particular code is doing, and I can also, of course, read the comments here. This is just like that word block that basically tells it what the movement motors are. So motor pair is what I'm calling my movement motors. Okay, it's a new object, and I can declare it with this function called motor pair. So motor pair is just saying, hey, robot, your motors are connected to ports C and D. I'm going to store that information in this object motor pair, and then I can act on that object. So whenever I act on motor pair, I'm essentially acting on the motors that are connected to C and D. So this first next command does exactly what it says it does. So it basically sets the speed to 50 or 50% here. Okay. If I wasn't sure what that did and I didn't get quite enough information, I can always go down here on my knowledge base and I can go to motor pairs. Okay, and if I go down motor pairs, I can see this particular command, set motor speed, and I can learn and read more about it. And what else, what can I read about it? Well, I can read the ranges it can be set to. So it can go from negative 100 to 100. I kind of know that it's a percentage. So 100% is 100% speed, 10% is 10% speed. If I were to be honest with you, that's not really specified here. Okay, but if I were to reduce this number to 20, then it would go less fast. If I went negative, then the motors would go in the opposite direction, which isn't super helpful. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that example that I was looking at, and let's keep going. Okay, so I can, again, test that. So I just looked at that particular function in the knowledge base. Let's see what happens if I go negative 50 instead of positive 50. Again, my robot should go backwards instead of forwards. Okay, I can confirm that it did that. Okay, I can also do a turn here or point turn. Again, thank you, Lego. They're giving me good examples that I can learn from. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that code again. Okay, because again, I copied it. Oops, I didn't copy the right one. Because I copied it, I need to reset these again. Okay, and now if I look, this looks a little bit different than the word block, right? Where I had that rotation to get it to do a tank turn. This one says move tank, so that basically means I'm moving both wheels, but I'm going to specify how I move both wheels. And what I specify in here is a distance. That tells me how far I want the wheels to move or how much to rotate. And then I'm going to toggle the speed. So initially it's set at left speed 25 and right speed 75. Again, these are percentages. So I can go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and play that, just see what it does. Okay, if I were to look at my robot, it didn't do a tank turn and turn in place. It kind of curved and turned. Okay, again, I can play around and adjust these and just experiment. I know how to do a tank turn. If my robot is moving in place and just turning in place, that means that the wheels are moving with the same speed, but in opposite directions. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this. I'm gonna make it turn just a little bit more, and I'm gonna change it to left speed 25, right speed -25. I'm gonna push play and see what it does. Okay, and I can confirm that my robot did rotate in place. It moved the wheels enough to go 20 centimeters in a straight line. Now, again, if I want to learn more about this particular function and some of the options here, I can go back to motor pairs and I can go to move tank. Okay. And again, I got to read a little bit here, but I can see some of the options, and in particular, the options for inputs. So this amount and unit, you can see that the amount can be just any number, which it is right now, it's just 20, but the unit can be different. So just like the word block, the unit can be in centimeters, it can be in inches, rotations, degrees, or seconds, okay? And again, I gotta spell these right if I want the Python code to work, and I wanna follow the syntax. So in this case, they've got single apostrophes around them, so I wanna be able, I wanna make sure I put that in as well, or else the code won't recognize it. So if I run it like this, for example, it's not gonna work, I'm gonna get an error. Okay, so that's the difference between programming in word blocks and programming in Python. You really do have to be exact with the syntax, but it's a lot more flexible.